All right. So greetings, peace and power elevation. Be to the people out there. This your girl Tiffany coming through here live. So tonight I'm recording this video and I'm going to be talking about single parenting and suicidal depression. What motivated me to get on this subject was a story about a young 21-year-old mother who happened to post on social media about her depression and the things that she was going through. And then later, some sources say she died from a car accident. Others say that she died from suicide. And so one of the main issues with her was about single parenting and how it was hard to be a parent at the age that she is. And she's just only 21. And she just had so many episodes going through a lot of depression. And maybe she didn't have anybody to really talk to or talk about what was going on in her life. So a very beautiful young lady, by the way. She got beautiful children. And she happened to commit suicide. And I'm not a parent, but I know from watching other people who are parents and who has to raise kids on their own, it can be very depressing. And you tend to be suicidal because you don't get enough help. You don't have somebody that it's hard. For one, you having trouble to find somebody who can babysit your kids while you going to work or going to school, etc. And then two, you juggling between work and school and trying to make sure that you provide for the household and make sure the kids get Medicaid, etc. And then there's a lot of things that's come along with this. Also, you got the issue of generational poverty. And then you may not get paid as much. So you may work a job that seem like it pay decent wages, but that can only it might be good for somebody who's single and that don't have any children, or maybe have one child. But when you have somebody who have multiple kids and they making a certain type of money, making a certain amount of wages, then it's not enough to actually be able to sustain the household. So now you got to go to a side hustle. And that's something that you may not like or you may not want to do. You don't appreciate doing, but you're doing it because you got to feed your family. These things can be very suicidal. I'm going to tell you something. Capitalism can cause people to have suicidal depression. Capitalism causes people to have suicidal depression because we're trying to live up to the expectation of this society, trying to meet the income range so we can be able to have make livable wages so we can be able to have better living condition and be able to buy our children whatever they want, buy ourselves what we want. So these things drive us crazy. It drives us to the level of suicide. So this economic system and government in itself and society itself cause people to become very suicidal. But when you're a single parent and you get lack of support, you got to deal with that problem on your own. And nobody's there to really hear what you're going through, and nobody really cares. And don't let it be the people in your family. A lot of them motherfuckers don't really care. You're left to deal with that shit by yourself. But anyways, let me go ahead and get to the article. All right, so according to this article called Opera News, it says heartbreaking news: single mother of two kills herself after battle depression for a long time. Now, again, some people might believe that this article is not true, and others do. So they So it's need to be spoken about. It needs to be addressed. So let me go ahead and read. It said, it seems as if depression is a real thing. And people who are depressed should seek help before things go out of hand, as what happened here. A 21-year-old single mother of two children decided to commit suicide after she has voiced her feelings on social media about her displeasure in raising two children on her own. Here are some of the posts that she posted on social media to voice her feelings about raising two children on her own. So this is her. If while I was alive, you couldn't help take care of them, then why wait till I'm gone? Then she put up another one. Having to do this parent shit alone has made me a lot stronger and shows me that I am capable of doing anything. But at the same time, I want to breathe. I want to be able to go to the restaurant at least once without little kids following my ass. I want to be able to sleep in because I don't have to get up just because the kids are up. I want a break, and I'm comfortable enough to say that now and not give a fuck what no one say because I am human. And she got the sad emoji. Losing my mind. Checking out. I'm sorry, but I can't keep battling depression. To the ones that were really there, I love y'all. If I do succeed at this, please make sure my kids are okay. Now, this is that's very hard to read because just putting all your thoughts on social media, and people tend to criticize folks for getting on social media and putting up too much information about their personal lives, etc., which I partially agree. However, some people don't have anywhere else to vent but except for the social media platform, places like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. That's where people go to relieve themselves. So at the end of the day, people have the right to post whatever they want to post, but it's up to those who are the audience or on the friends list not to entertain the post. But we never know why people get on social media and talk about what's going on. We never know what's really bothering them. Somebody on their friends list can help them or give them some type of advice. They're crying for help, but they don't know where to go to get the help. So again, we really can't sit here and say, well, a person should not say on. Okay. Anyways, but at the end of the day, that's something that person has to deal with. Whatever they post, that's on them. We can't control what other people do on their page or what they put on their page. Now, either you can just offer some advice or you can just keep it moving. That's all you can do. Anyways, let's see. It says it is clear to see that it is clear to see here that this young lady was really not coping or was not copying and raising her children on her own. By looking at her post, you could see that she was not in a great state of mind. And this also shows that this young lady was battling with stress and depression. This lady was surely not happy with the way the father of these children was taking care of them. As she also stated that if there was anything that could happen to her, no one must give her children to their father. It seems at this point, this lady was ready to commit suicide. So it's a picture of this young lady right here. And those are her beautiful children. It says this lady apparently drove her vehicle straight into a oncoming pickup truck and she died at the scene. People on social media, however, were even concerned about the children that this lady left behind. However, some people on social media were even saying that the lady should have given her children for adoption if she felt as if she was not coping or copying and raising her children on her own. It is heartbreaking now because her children will grow up without a mother. So someone put a comment on here. It says Olivia Povan kills herself after battling depression and the stress of raising kids alone. A 21-year-old single mother of two decided to end her life after voicing her displeasure with raising her two children alone. Olivia Povan drove her vehicle into a common traffic right into a pickup truck. She died at the scene. Raising a child with two parents is hard, so I cannot imagine what it's like to raise multiple children alone. I pray that one day our ladies wake up and start being more mindful of the men they choose to have babies for. If he won't give you the ring, don't give him a baby. Depression is real. I pray for those involved. All right, and these are the comments. Okay, so that's the young lady again. But the question becomes, how can a young lady at her age really know how to choose a man? The question becomes, well, how was she raised? What type of male figures did she have in her life? Because I'm going to tell you, society has failed humanity, especially women. Why society has failed women? Because society has taught women that they got to look for a prince charming. They got to look for somebody who can just give them their financial needs, etc. They don't teach them how to properly vet a man, what to look for in a man, and what type of questions to ask a man. You're not really taught that as a woman. So when you get with somebody, you have this relationship, you start a family with them, but then all of a sudden they have a change of heart and they disappear on you and go on to the next person or be with multiple people and leave you to deal with the burden on your own. So when we look at what's going on, we have to look at societal blame. That's what we have to look at, societal blame first and foremost, because obviously this young lady was misled by a young man who she thought was going to be there for her, who was supposed to be the love of her life. And ain't no telling, it doesn't say much about the father. But obviously, according to her, the father is not present. So what you have here is a generational cycle. And I want to go to this article real fast. Hold on. Why can I not? All right, here we go. Okay, so here's the article. It says, does depression increase risk for suicide? It comes from hhs.gov, which is the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It says, does depression increase the risk for suicide? Although the majority of people who have depression does not die by suicide, having major depression does increase suicide risk compared to people without depression. The risk of death by suicide may, in part, be related to the severity of the depression. It says new data on depression that has followed people over long periods of time suggests that about 2% of those people ever treated for depression in an outpatient setting will die by suicide. Among those ever treated for depression in an inpatient hospital setting, the rate of death by suicide is twice as high, 4%. Those treated for depression as inpatient following suicide ideation or suicide attempts are about 3 times as likely to die by suicide, 6%, as those who were only treated as outpatients. There are also dramatic gender differences in lifetime risk of suicide and depression, whereas about 7% of men with a lifetime history of depression will die by suicide. Only 1% of women with a lifetime history of depression will die by suicide. Another way about thinking of suicide risk and depression is to examine the lives of people who have died by suicide and see what proportion of them were depressed. From that perspective, it is estimated that about 60% of people who commit suicide have had a mood disorder, major depression, bipolar disorder, or dissenting. Was it I'm not even going to try to say a word, but anyways, younger persons who kill themselves often have a substance abuse disorder in addition to being depressed. So basically, as we can see here in this article, you have a greater chance of committing suicide if you deal with major depression. And I'm gonna say this: the reality is that there's really no cure for depression. There's no cure for it because depression is a disease. It's a disease. And the only way you can treat a depression, that's all you can do, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't come back. Depression is a disease. It's something that you cannot get rid of. You can minimize it. You can focus on doing constructive things, but you will never get rid of depression. Especially not living in a world that's very complicated. Especially living under an economic system that's based on competition, free marketing, etc. Based on a world that's putting too much high expectation on people. You're gonna experience some form of depression, whether it be a mild depression or major depression. It's gonna always be there. And anybody that say that they never get depressed, they only telling lies. Because depression is real. It's real. There's no cure for it. There's no medicine for it. And even if they did give you medicine, or let's say they give out pills. The antidepressant pill, but those pills only make people worse. It messes with their brain activity. So it's not guaranteed that it's going to cure the depression. There's no cure for it. You living with it. So you really can't stop a person from committing suicide. You can try to help them, but at the end of the day, it's up to that person if they make that conscious decision, what they want to do, if they want to continue to live or if they'd rather die. They have to figure out what will be best for them. Anyways, that's all I have to say for tonight. And with that being said, it's your girl Tiffany, and I am going to be logging off. So until next time, peace and power elevation be to everybody out there. And thanks to my subscribers that's been checking in on my channel, sharing my videos, and liking these videos, etc. And I hope that you guys gain something from it. I don't have a whole lot, but hey, I'm all right with the views that I have. I'm all right with the amount of subscribers that I have. I don't expect more. But if I do have more subscribers in the future, that'll be great. Until then, I'm not even tripping. But anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Take it easy. Peace. All right.